To police officers, how are you feeling seeing how the situation was handled in Texas? This department has now created a situation where parents will show up to a future incident armed and not likely to take direction from officers on the scene. Pretty fucking angry. I am retired now, but taught active shooter response for over 10 years. Uvalde ISD chief should resign and turn in his credentials and get a job digging ditches. Thank goodness BORTAC took the initiative, even if they waited and listened to Arredondo for 30 minutes. Ashamed of this agency and their so-called chief. If the shooter is isolated, you wait because time is on your side to negotiate. If they are actively shooting people, action must be taken. Just because the SCOTUS says there's no duty to intervene, I think most law agencies' policy and, obviously, public opinion beg to differ. In Britain, there was an attacker with a machete on London Bridge and our unarmed police officers ran towards him with only pepper spray and batons, literally, hitty sticks. In fact, one was an off-duty transport police officer with no gear at all. I can't fathom the slowness of the response in Texas. Kind of disgusted by all of the attempts at covering up what those officers did as well. Seething. I was already pretty pissed when I found out about it, but finding out the cops went in to save their kids and they proceeded to let the shooter run around for an hour because they quote were scared they'd get shot has ticked me the fuck off. I hope every single of them is fired, but knowing Texas they won't get their just desserts. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes but I don't deserve them lol. I'm not a police officer, I'm just a dumbass who didn't see the part where OP was asking for police officers' opinions on this situation. Military police here. I am angry beyond words at the tragedy that has taken place. MP training is direct to threat and even without hearing gunshots we are required to breach the building and begin securing it so if people are shot inside we can create a clear corridor for casualties to be collected and treated. These cowardly pieces of shit should turn in their badges and be held accountable for their inaction. I literally never comment on anything but felt like I should here. I've only been on the job for a year and change in the largest department in America, and while we're definitely not perfect, I've been to a few shootings personally, and even with shots ringing out within visual range I've never seen any one of my co-workers run away or just wait for ESU calls. They could get shot, and I know I've never ran away. While I can understand being afraid, I can't understand not doing your job. We're first responders and as such it's our job to go in there and get it done. Backup be damned. I hate Monday night quarterbacking, but I've risked my life on this job for way less, so when other officers wait idle while kids get gunned down it makes me mad. Disgusted. Angry. I was a cop from 2012-2019 and did multiple active shooter training at schools. Responded to a mass shooting at a block party and we ran in. We knew the risk when we signed up for the job. This was a nightmare scenario that they fucked up so badly. Sue, my uncle is a policeman, and he said that the second they heard a shoot from the inside they were obligated to go in. Edit. So, obligation doesn't instantly mean they were by law required to do so. More of a moral obligation. Sorry for that confusion. I'm Australian and have friends in the various state forces, some of them in tactical units. They couldn't believe how any of this was handled. Nor do they believe any of those officers would ever survive the intake process for SOG, let alone even making it through the 12-month academy training program to start with. U.S. policing in general suffers from fragmentation in funding, training, and discipline. There doesn't need to be 8 layers of policing and 50 different county departments all doing the same role but without a shared vision. There is a lot of talk about defunding the police. I say bullshit. It should be about amalgamation of police. State police bodies with a single training program, single operating standards, single funding, etc. It's like Parkland, Florida all over again. Someone with a badge and gun heard shots and did absolutely nothing. Cowards. I'm really upset. I'm so heartbroken for the families. My agency trains us to take immediate action, TP save lives and stop the threat. Our training and gear reflect that. There is no time for tactical teams. Absolutely zero chance. I give less than everything. As an active police officer of 22 years, I would have died trying to prevent even one additional child from being harmed. I could not live with myself knowing that I stood outside while children were dying inside. Words cannot describe my disgust for what has happened there. My heart aches for both the deceased and their loved ones. I hope they fire everyone who did nothing and the judge tosses any criminal charges against parents. Just typing this and saying it out loud has gotten me all fired up again. What they teach us is that you have to enter, even if that means by yourself. You go in and eliminate the threat. If you've got someone else there with you, cool, but you may have to go in on your own. I feel appalled and embarrassed for the Uvalde police's response or lack thereof. What bunch of pathetic human scum would willingly neglect their oath and duty to serve and to protect equals Uvalde police. Imagine if nurses and doctors refused to attend to patients with COVID for fear of contracting the disease. I'm glad our hospital teams are braver than Uvalde's police. Now, waiting for a bullet is deadlier than COVID rebuttal. But you get the point. My city had a mass shooting where 10 people died 3 years ago. It took 6 responding officers 32 seconds to kill the active shooter. My co-worker is a relative of one of the officers who responded that night. She told us that he thinks these cops deserve to burn in hell for abandoning those children. Really a cop? Those guys, or at least their commanders, are cowards. To me, being a cop is a service position. I'm willing to die for anyone at any time in my city. Don't get any wrong. I don't want to die, but I sure as fuck ain't waiting outside during an active shooting. Cop here from New Jersey. Simply put, these cops can go fuck themselves. As a motorway police inspector, I got 2 bullets in my left leg while making a bus hijack go unsuccessful. I was succeeded and remember no matter if a bullet shattered my heart. At that time, what matters was the countless lives of innocent people. Sorry for my basic English.